Before we begin, let's gather our ingredients and tools. You'll need fresh cucumbers, vinegar, salt, sugar, spices, and jars with lids. Using fresh, high-quality ingredients is important for the best flavor and texture. First, wash your cucumbers thoroughly under cold water. You can leave them whole for larger pickles or slice them into spears or rounds. Smaller cucumbers are usually best for pickling. Next, we'll make the brine. The brine is a mixture of vinegar, water, salt, and sugar. It's important to dissolve the salt completely in the brine. This ensures your pickles are evenly seasoned. Section 5. Packing your pickle jars. Now it's time to pack the jars. Place spices like dill, garlic, or peppercorns in the bottom of each jar. Then, pack the cucumbers tightly into the jars, leaving about an inch of space at the top. Section 6. Sealing in the flavor. Pour the hot brine over the cucumbers, leaving about half an inch of space at the top. Wipe the rims of the jars with a clean, damp cloth to remove any spills. Then, place the lids on the jars and tighten the bands securely. Section 7. The water bath method. We'll use a water bath to seal the jars and ensure the pickles are shelf-stable. Fill a large pot with water and bring it to a boil. Carefully lower the jars into the boiling water, making sure they're fully submerged. Process the jars for the recommended time, adjusting for altitude if necessary. The water bath method is a traditional and reliable technique used in home canning. It involves immersing jars filled with food in boiling water for a specific period. This process seals the jars and kills any bacteria, yeasts, or molds, ensuring the food inside remains safe to eat for an extended period. Gather all your equipment, a large pot with a rack, a jar lifter, a funnel, and a bubble remover tool. Fill your pot with enough water to cover the jars by at least 1 inch. Bring the water to a rolling boil before adding the jars. Prepare your jars by cleaning them and filling them with your prepared pickles, leaving the recommended headspace. Once the water is boiling, use the jar lifter to carefully lower the jars into the pot. Ensure the jars are fully submerged and not touching each other. Cover the pot with a lid and start timing the process. Follow the recommended time to ensure the safety and quality of your pickles. Adjust the processing time for higher altitudes. After processing, turn off the heat and let the jars sit in the water for a few minutes. Remove the jars and let them cool undisturbed for 12 to 24 hours. As the jars cool, you'll hear a popping sound, indicating that the lids are sealing properly. Check the seals by pressing down on the center of each lid. Label your jars with the date and contents and store them in a cool, dark place. Properly processed and sealed jars can last for up to a year or more. Section 9. Troubleshooting your pickles. Pickling is a time-honored tradition that has been passed down through generations. It's a wonderful way to preserve the bounty of your garden and enjoy the flavors of summer all year round. However, even the most experienced picklers can encounter issues from time to time. In this section, we'll address some common problems you might face and provide solutions to ensure your pickles turn out perfect every time. Sometimes you might encounter issues like mushy pickles, floating cucumbers, or cloudy brine. These issues can be frustrating, but they are usually easy to fix with a little know-how. Let's dive into each problem and explore the possible causes and solutions. Don't worry, these problems are usually easy to fix. With a bit of patience and some simple adjustments, you can turn your pickling mishaps into successes. Let's start with mushy pickles, a common issue that can be caused by several factors. Mushy pickles can be caused by overcooking. When cucumbers are boiled for too long, they lose their crispness and become soft. To avoid this, make sure to follow the recommended cooking times in your recipe. Another tip is to use a thermometer to ensure the water temperature is just right. Overcooking isn't the only culprit though. Using the wrong type of cucumber can also result in mushy pickles. Not all cucumbers are created equal when it comes to pickling. For the best results, use pickling cucumbers, which are smaller and have thinner skins compared to slicing cucumbers. These varieties are specifically bred for pickling and will give you that desired crunch. Floating cucumbers are often a result of not packing the jars tightly enough. When cucumbers float, they are more likely to spoil because they are not fully submerged in the brine. To prevent this, pack the cucumbers as tightly as possible into the jars. You can also use a weight or a fermentation lid to keep them submerged. Cloudy brine can be caused by using hard water. Hard water contains minerals that can react with the brine, causing it to become cloudy. To avoid this, use distilled or filtered water when making your brine. If you don't have access to distilled water, you can boil your tap water and let it cool before using it. Adding spices directly to the brine can also cause cloudiness. While spices add wonderful flavor to your pickles, they can sometimes contain particles that cloud the brine. To prevent this, you can place your spices in a spice bag or cheesecloth before adding them to the jar. This way you get all the flavor without the cloudiness. By following these tips, you can troubleshoot common pickling problems and enjoy delicious crisp pickles every time. Section 10. Choosing the right cucumbers. Not all cucumbers are created equal when it comes to pickling. Kirby cucumbers are a popular choice for their firm texture and small seeds. Persian cucumbers are another good option, as are English cucumbers. Experiment with different varieties to find your favorites. Section 11. Recap keys to crisp, flavorful pickles. Remember to always use fresh, high-quality ingredients and follow the recipe carefully. Pack the jars tightly, use the correct water bath processing time, and check the seals carefully. With a little practice, you'll be making delicious, crunchy pickles in no time. Section 12. Start pickling today. Making your own pickles is a rewarding experience. Not only will you have delicious pickles to enjoy, but you'll also gain a sense of accomplishment from creating something homemade. So, gather your ingredients, follow these simple steps, and start pickling today.